What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals. My name is DJ, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my sister.
Oh, I didn't tell you my name.
You did not.
You didn't. I don't know my sister's name.
Demi.
Demi. Yes, my sister Demi, and our friend Dan.
What's up?
You okay over there, Dan?
Yeah, you caught me mid sip there.
Mid sip. All right.
My ginger ale.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
I'm
We
pretty
drink
sure
adult drinks here.
It's 90% liquor.
Okay,
it's good
this
stuff. It's good for
week
good for
we
my heart.
are talking about Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. I got stuck on Final, and then my brain was like Final Fantasy,
Probably because you
and
forgot.
I was
Final
like,
Destination,
wait.
'cause that's also out.
You forgot. Isn't it the Final Reckoning?
No, I thought
I
it
think
was
it is
just
the
Final
Final.
Reckoning.
Is it? There's no duh in front of it.
I thought it was Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
I guess
could
I'm
be
wrong.
Google will tell us. It's the
It's okay.
No.
Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
yes.
Okay. All right. My bad. I thought it was just Final Reckoning. All right, but anyhow, yes,
Final
this is the sequel to. It wasn't last year. The year before.
The year before, yeah.
Year before to Dead Reckoning.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, starring Tom Cruise and Haley Atwell and all the rest of the Mission Impossible people.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, I wanted to start off by saying the beginning of this movie was jarring. Did anyone else feel that?
Jarring? Like you mean like how
Jarring.
fast it moved, or what?
It was just like, I
How?
don't know. It felt like a YouTube compilation of Mission Impossible movies.
Agreed.
I mean,
I
it kind of
would
was.
say-
It kind of was.
Like the first hour 45 minutes is I thought they were too reliant on flashbacks, and that's because you were trying to connect all of the movies from 30 years ago back to this one
Like,
movie.
literally
Yeah,
30
basically
years ago, yeah.
everything Ethan Hunt did led up to this, and they like actually connected it in the
Yeah.
story, which
Yeah.
was interesting. But I mean, like just the part before the title card, which I don't know, was that like a half hour?
Yeah, it was. It was 30 minutes. Yeah, it
When
was
he
definitely
was
30
when
minutes.
he needed to hunt down Gabriel, so he goes to the jail to get Paris,
Mhm.
and then he was at the little fancy party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were moving around
They were
fast. They were
moving
moving around
very
very
quick
fast,
in the
yeah.
beginning to from place to place, and it
Mhm.
was a lot of flashbacks to different
Okay.
Mission Impossible movies.
And so I think I agree because it's like there was a lot of cuts because it's like, how do we find Gabriel? And then you like cut to the prison with Paris.
Yeah,
And then it's just like, hey, don't shoot me. Cut to something else.
yeah,
Mhm.
But yeah, okay. I see what you're saying.
yeah.
So that kind of jarring. Okay.
it was a bit jarring to me. I couldn't get into the movie, but after the title card, I did. As the story went on,
Mhm.
I was able to get into the movie then.
No, we're still good.
Okay, all right, just making sure. I was able to get into the movie after the title card. I just
Mhm.
thought that the beginning was a little weird.
Yeah, because there was a lot of cuts in it, and it was just kind of like, but even I feel like during the whole movie was kind of like there's like, because it would be like cuts that were flashbacks, or then like cuts were like this could happen this way, and then it was just
So
like,
it was like, yeah, like when he was describing what he had to do, they were
Yeah.
like, with this, like in that submarine suit and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that was just going on throughout the entire movie.
yeah,
Which in
that
some
part was, yeah.
ways it fit, like the submarine suit. Like when they was saying like, hey, you gotta drop
Oh,
fast.
they did a couple
and this and
times
the
where like two different people were describing the same thing, and so they
Mhm.
kind of cut between
yeah,
yeah,
both conversations.
like
yeah,
it fit there.
yeah, because I think they did it once when they were saying like what could happen if the AI take over, and because that's when he told what was Haley Atwell's character name?
That's a good question. I keep.
What
I
was
do
her
forget-
name?
I do
Well,
forget.
whatever
name.
her name was.
Haley Atwell.
Yeah, because like when they was talking about like how he was going to get the key from the sub, and they
Yeah.
like show the crew cutting the ice or whatever, but that was like how they could do it.
Mhm.
And then like when he warned her like stay off the ice because something could happen to her.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like that. Like they would show scenes of how either something could happen, or this is how they would do it, but that's not actually what
What
happened.
happened? Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So, that being said, obviously it's a cast of good actors,
Mm-hmm.
So acting in a movie, I think, is what you expect from Mission Impossible, as long as it's not Mission Impossible 2.
Wait, did Mission Impossible 2 have bad acting, or did we just not like the movie?
I think it was-
honestly, the movie, I didn't really like the movie that well.
Right. Like I don't
It
like
just
the
wasn't.
movie.
It wasn't like your typical Mission.
it wasn't bad
Impossible movie.
actors.
Well, we know you have a problem with what's her face.
Who? Tandy Newton?
I feel like I don't know. Do you
No, I like Tandy Newton.
do you?
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like he talks about her a lot.
Yeah, I feel like he pretty slaughtered her. Pretty
No,
well.
I didn't.
Yeah.
No, I
Are
didn't
you
say anything
sure?
bad about Tandy Newton. I know I didn't say anything bad about Tandy Newton.
Say
Okay.
anything good about her?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In that movie?
In that movie, no. No, not in Mission Impossible 2. I think everybody got trashed in that one.
I mean,
They didn't flash back to Mission Impossible 2. They flashed back to every other Mission
did
Impossible
not.
movie.
because
They did not.
no one likes Mission Impossible 2.
Like they dude got his finger cut off and everything. It was just
Yeah,
it was not flashing back to that.
they were like, yeah, no, that one, everything
We-
Ethan
we
Hunt
wanna
did led up
forget
to
that
this,
one.
but Mission Impossible 2, no.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with it.
that had, yeah, absolutely not.
That was just when he was off the clock.
Yeah. So obviously acting throughout the movie was, I mean, it's what you expect. And it wasn't bad.
Agreed.
You like that
course.
tribute to Tom Cruise in the beginning that they tried to fake was for Ethan Hunt? It was definitely a tribute to Tom Cruise.
Hey, fair enough.
Yeah, I
He's
ain't
gonna
mad
do
at
all his stunts in these, which, I mean, please stop. Did he really do the plane thing in this one? He probably did.
Yeah, he really
Yes.
did those stunts. Yeah. At 60, and he's 60?
63.
He's 63.
Oh,
Man.
Yeah.
boy.
I mean, he
don't-
better than me, so you know.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I
fair,
wouldn't be doing
fair
it.
enough. I'm definitely using
Harrison
a
Ford
stunt
wasn't
double.
doing his
I
stunts.
like, you know,
Harrison Ford was like stunt double everything.
yeah.
So,
I'm
man,
like, oh, who's climbing on the plane? Yeah, you get a stunt double for that. They're professionals.
Right, yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? Props to Tom Cruise for that. I mean, you give him
Hats off.
props for that.
He,
yeah.
he gives everything to these movies, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll give him
like
that.
he's a crazy person, but I appreciate his dedication.
I do.
True. I mean, he
definitely
is
do.
dedicated to giving us these kind of movies,
Yeah.
and we get them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We do, for sure.
So thank you, Tom Cruise. We'll have you on the show sometime. We'll do an interview.
Hey, maybe this show will get there, and we get to interview an actor. We never know.
That would be dope.
That would be cool.
You
Have
think
them
they'll
come right
around
here.
Yes.
It's a nice
Yes.
neighborhood. Yeah,
It's
it's
a
a nice
nice
neighborhood.
It is a nice
It's a
neighborhood.
nice
It's a nice
neighborhood.
Very nice
And you
neighborhood.
don't even have to drive through the bad neighborhoods to get to it.
Yeah.
True.
Extra bonus.
True.
It's true. It's right by the highway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All
They're
the-
like,
all
you
the
guys don't have a
neighborhood around here.
studio. We're like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
This is our
don't need a
studio.
studio, schmudio. It's the old way of doing things.
Yes.
How we do it in our living room.
Yes. It's a flex space.
Yeah. That's
Our
true.
living room.
All right. So that music, I mean,
I liked
decent as it goes.
Yeah.
Not enough Mission Impossible theme. What's
the
going
classic?
on here? Where's my Mission Impossible theme?
Didn't they do it like in a few different variations? Like
It
when the
was like
movie
a-
first started, it was like a drum.
In the when the
type
movie first
deal.
started, they did it. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I got you. You wanted it to be like when he's on the plane to start playing it or something.
Yeah, not actually. If I'm to be honest, I think they did it better here. Obviously, if you just do the Mission Impossible, that's
Yeah.
probably
Yeah, not
not
too
good.
much of it. Like, give me some other things.
But like, part of me does want that cheesy, like, hey, he's
Mhm.
doing something extra.
I
You
got
know,
But okay, even though they didn't really play the theme, I thought it was good. I felt like, sometimes they play music at the wrong times or the wrong
Yeah.
type of music.
like
thought-
Mission Impossible 2.
Yes.
Because
yes.
they
Or-
remember we were talking about it. I said it. I said play the theme all the time, and
Yeah.
they did it when like a scarf was falling off of Tandy
I knew
Newton's neck.
exactly what scene you were talking about. I knew exactly what scene you were talking about. I'm like, he gonna talk about the scarf because she was walking in slow motion and him.
Talking about that's the perfect time for the music. Come on.
So
Not like Top Gun.
they didn't. So even though I agree that maybe we could have got a little bit more of the theme, but I thought what they did have was good and it fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no complaints about it.
Yeah, I do think what they did had really did fit. And I think like the swell up of the theme that they used, I don't know who composed it, but
I forgot.
the theme that they did use it at appropriate times. I
Mhm.
think the swelling up of it worked at appropriate times, like him descending from that dive, which we're going to talk about later. Like, yeah, it fit. It really did fit. It really feels like an end to a series, right? even though they probably won't. But it does feel like an end to a
It
series.
does. I mean, I hope they end it.
You do
but-
gotta. Sometimes you gotta end it at the right
Yeah.
point. Like, don't keep forcing.
Yeah,
I
I
don't-
wonder if it would depend on like if this movie makes a ton of money.
Yeah.
Because you
They're
know,
gonna-
I mean, I
they're
think
gonna
you
want to
can
run that back.
Continue with
Yeah.
IMF, right? But like, let Ethan Hunt retire.
but who are you gonna replace him
Or
with?
play a different role.
Haley Atwell. I want to see Haley Atwell do something.
I'm not against it. I just don't know if they set her up to take over the franchise.
They didn't. She was not set up. To
And
take
that's the
over.
thing. And then, you know,
Well, Palm Clementef?
I'm gonna say no to that.
No.
Probably not.
That's gonna be a no
That
for
doesn't
me.
feel good.
It doesn't feel right. I feel like of the characters that we have right now, none of them feels right to take over the series. Now, if you'd have took when I thought they really were trying to do the transition, was that Ghost Protocol?
Mhm.
Is that the one with Jeremy Renner and Paula Patton?
Oh, okay.
I felt like they were trying to set that team to take over,
Mhm.
and just for whatever reason, it didn't work out.
I don't know.
And so I would have felt more comfortable with someone from that team.
The only one still around from that team is Benji.
Yeah, but Benji's just as old as Tom Cruise.
Yeah, so yeah, he can't take over.
Yeah, he's gonna do it. So you know what I mean? Like this team to me doesn't feel worthy enough to take
I
over.
don't know. I
if they
mean,
wanted
I
to
think-
do another movie.
I think Palm can do an action role. Like we.
I'm not saying that she can't. I'm saying we're talking about her character, not her as an actress. Sure.
Okay.
But her character itself, no.
No.
I'm not with it.
You think nobody would be interested in that?
No, why would they?
No.
And like these characters, a lot of them, like, so we have that ending scene where they're all like saying goodbye to each other.
Yeah.
To me, it had less of an impact because you guys been a team for 40 minutes.
Yeah, they did
You know what I
just
mean?
become a team in this
It's
movie.
not like if we had like the only original character was Benji,
Mhm.
but everyone else was brand new.
Yeah.
Right.
Which they had to be brand new. So, okay, so I do think it set up them building a new team. My thing is, if you keep Ethan Hunt at the center, then you still got a 60-something-year-old guy.
Right, which I mean, I'm okay with it ending.
Yeah.
But to me, none of this team just doesn't feel right to be the next Mission Impossible, whatever.
I agree.
Hmm.
Even if it does end, like I mean, sometime later on down the road, somebody's gonna pick this back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't think they could make it work? With some, well, maybe,
this
well,
current
wait,
team?
maybe use this team and then you just insert someone else that's not in this movie.
They would need I feel like they need a new leader because what we were given with these characters and these, I'm gonna say last movie because the first movie, like okay, Haley Atwell's character name was Grace. Did not remember that.
All right.
Like she was established in the first part of this movie, which I mean, and I like her character. I don't see her as like leading the IMF.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
So if they were going to do a new Mission Impossible, and if Tom Cruise was not going to be in it, you need someone, not any of these people, being the lead.
So like a fresh face.
Yeah, it will have to be someone fresh, I believe.
Okay. Well, that's open ended. I don't think Mission Impossible will end itself. Like the franchise is one of those that like I think just
But you know, I
continues.
just feel like sometimes maybe we should.
I agree.
I mean, yeah.
All good
Yeah.
things must come to an end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, 30 years is a good run. And really, I mean, like everyone hates too. But okay, but
But
besides
it
that,
still survived even after that.
it's
Like, that
30
didn't
years
kill the
of
series.
pretty decent movies.
Yeah. It's very true. Yeah.
Why not just go out on top?
You know,
I
nobody
agree.
can go out on top. What's the saying? Either you die a hero or you live long enough to make see yourself become the villain. So you can't go out on top unless
You gotta become the villain.
yeah. You gotta keep
gotta.
on.
Keep making
Keep on
movies
doing
until
it
they
until it's
hate
horrible.
us.
Yeah. But I feel it. Well, like we were saying, it feels like an ending to the franchise, and you know,
It does.
it's pretty good.
It would be a decent ending if it was true.
Yeah.
I think so. Like, I mean, you know, Jay-Z should have retired a long time ago. The Black
Mm.
Album would have been perfect for him to retire off.
Yes, it
Didn't do it. Then he had
would
another
have.
opportunity with the Blueprint 3. Would have been a great opportunity to retire then.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he should have
He
definitely quit
just
after Blueprint 3.
Didn't stop.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Then Magna Carta Holy Grail came out. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not your best work.
He had that one song though. I like that one.
But
Holy Girl.
yeah, but you've done so much better.
Yes.
The cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
I think there were some really good shots in this.
Agreed. I feel like one thing Mission Impossible does well is their shots. They're always pretty
Mhm.
spectacular.
Yeah.
I agree. The scenery is always pretty
Yeah.
pretty dope.
Always.
Yeah, yeah. Especially, I'm gonna give the subway
Just-
dive sequence, just him diving down there and the descent back up, or
The
Ascent?
submarine
ascent back up.
or you said subway.
You said Subway.
Submarine. My bad.
So how did he dive into the subway and bust his head on the bare concrete?
Pretty much.
The
makes
I thought there was water down here.
Makes for a short movie.
Like that. And I guess that's the end of Ethan.
I think there were like parts of that actually did feel intense, you know,
Mhm.
and I think the shots led to it.
I think the entire time that he was under the water. Well, for one thing, I would never want to be that deep underneath the ocean.
Oh no.
No,
Like submarines and like you hopped out of a submarine and there's
You don't.
another submarine immediately behind you
Mhm.
that you had to get by, and then you're going into a submarine that was sunken
Yeah.
down there, and that submarine in turn continues to fall deeper and to the ocean. It's just like the entire scene was stressful.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of stress in that.
Yeah, big time.
I'm
stress. I
like,
was stressed out.
I was
I was
like,
like,
dude.
there's no way I would do this. The world would be
I
ending.
liked it. I did like it a lot. I think the plane scene was also very well done.
Yes.
Um,
Oh, I got some stuff to say about it.
yeah, I think there was a little too much of him spinning around and hanging off of the plane.
Yeah.
You know, at some point I was like, we can get to the point with this. But I feel like overall, like those were like to me the only two scenes we got. And that maybe we could have had just a little bit of more action or spectacular scenes or something.
Okay, so you were looking for a bit more.
Just a little bit more, yeah.
Okay. All right. All right.
I can get on board with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can get on board with that. I feel like they were. I don't know. I guess they were focusing on putting the story together and kind of like closing out the.
Yeah, they did want to make sure they had a clean story
Yeah.
with
Was
it.
this a clean story?
Well, let's talk about the story. You like that transition? That was pretty good. Yeah.
Pretty
All
good,
right.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, all right. So so let's talk about the story. What was the story with this movie? So if we're continuing from the last movie, we've got the Entity, which is an AI program who has taken over the world, and now it is taking over all the country's nuclear arsenal.
Mhm.
Right? And so we've got to stop it before it destroys humans on Earth. And so Ethan Hunt's got to stop it by getting the original source code, which is in the submarine that we saw at the beginning of the last movie.
Mhm.
And then he's got to put a virus in that code and upload it, but he can only do it in South Africa in the what do they call that? The Doomsday Bunker, whatever it's called.
Some doomsday data center or something.
Yeah. Which I think is a real thing. Probably is.
Probably,
be.
I don't know.
He can only do right there, and he's got to do it at the right time so they can destroy the entity and save humanity.
Mhm.
And that's the story.
Mhm.
Without completely.
I mean, meanwhile,
cyberspace.
you've got other things working against them, but that's the gist of the story. You notice the entity's plan is just Ultron's plan?
Yes.
It's
I
the
mean,
same
that's-
plan that Ultron had.
That's kind of the plan of
This-
all like AI, right? It's
Yeah.
like I'm going to destroy humans, but I'm going to save myself in the computer so I can come back later.
I was thinking,
do
I was like,
what?
what's the point of saving yourself
They're
if
like,
there's
do
nobody
what?
else there?
Because
What are
I'm
you gonna do?
guessing for whatever human survives, then he gets to take over humanity. Then I guess.
But I thought you wanted to kill us all.
Then wouldn't he just kill all those? I mean, some humans will survive. We talk about nuclear stuff. It like humans will survive it. It's not like the end of the world.
Well, they were acting like it because I feel like the solution to this was just disconnect from the internet.
Hmm. Oh, but you can't. You heard the president say multiple times,
Yeah, you
"Oh, but
eradicate cyberspace.
that would, yeah, we couldn't."
We can't do that.
Yeah,
Suffer we can.
We
Because,
definitely can, but
40 years ago, we managed to live without the internet.
yeah, but now we're so
also,
reliant
I
on it.
mean, also the government. None of the governments wanting to
Which is
connect their
ridiculous.
nuclear arsenal. It was like as soon as the first one got taken over, it was like, "Hey guys, maybe we should take all our nukes offline."
Just
You think-
literally, just
like-
the reluctance to do this. And then it's like this slow 4-day clock or 3-day clock to get to this point. And I'm like, the entire time, and they eventually said it when you like a minute to spare.
Yeah,
And I'm like, just unplug it.
I mean the U.S. Are we really like? Hey man, if we take our nukes offline, Russia's gonna
Yes.
be like, "Oh yeah, we bombed
Yes.
them now."
Yes,
But
they're
my thing
really like that.
is,
God.
you can still launch it. Maybe it'd be a little more difficult because we're running an analog, but we can survive in analog mode.
Yeah, of course we could.
Just
It's
what
just
was
silly.
It? Was it last year when Microsoft had this big old glitch
Yeah,
and everybody was affected?
yeah, that was last year.
And I got like nurses friends, and it's like, yeah, we just had to use paper charts, and I was like,
Yeah, we got through it. It wasn't
we
bad
got
for
through
us.
it. It was just like, okay, well, what can I do without the internet?
Lots of things.
Lots of things. I still worked an entire day.
I can still play video games without the internet.
Yeah, I'm like, will it suck? Yes. But it's
Maybe,
certainly
depending on what you're
doable.
doing, you might not even notice it.
But if that is me being offline versus the world being destroyed by an evil computer trying to blow me up, I'm just gonna be offline.
Yeah, and that was my thing about this,
Yeah, I would think so.
especially since all the nations knew what was behind this. It wasn't like only the US knew or whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody knew that it was this AI.
Yeah.
Take your nukes offline. What's wrong with you? I don't understand.
Yeah, and I felt like it's like wasn't like the city starting to like wild out and stuff, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, y'all.
The problem is it's realistic because I'm pretty sure the
Yeah,
governments
absolutely.
won't do it.
Absolutely.
That's dumb.
It is dumb.
Like
And
we
they are stupid.
can function without the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is stupid.
Just
But-
we'll be okay.
We'll be okay. I mean, our podcast, you guys will have to like pick it up at the library or
That's
something like that.
fine.
But I
You
mean, it's
already
fine.
paying for it, so you might as well use the light. You might
Yeah.
as well use it. It's there for you.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But like you said, they did the same thing in Transformers when
Yeah.
that whole when the girl went in there was like, hey, I forgot what she said. But she was saying like, why are we seeing all these countries like they're getting ready for war? Like, isn't it just precaution? Because it's the same thing we're doing. And he shook his head like, oh, that's so ridiculous that they're doing the exact same thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
It's
He was like, yeah, but why are they
yeah, but
doing
why
it?
are they doing it?
Yeah.
Because we're doing the same thing. Their
Yeah.
thought process is probably the exact same. And he
Yeah.
thought that was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how governments think.
Yeah. Governments are dumb.
So yeah, it's ridiculous.
All of them.
It's nothing but war nonstop.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Absolutely. All right, so that was the story. That's the gist of all of that. I kind of want to go through now. I talked about the beginning of the movie being a bit jarring, but once we get past the opening, you've got, well, I guess this was before the opening. Ethan Hunt basically gets instructions from the entity saying like, okay, you need to upload me to the Doomsday server in South Africa. Okay. Because you have to, I guess. Otherwise, everybody dies. I don't know.
But when people die anyways.
Yeah. And basically the entity's plan is to be there because it's the only place that will survive.
Right,
Well,
no,
the only
I
server
get
that
the
will survive.
entity's plan.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think, it's like, I need you to take me there. Because if you don't, everyone's going to die. But isn't everyone going to die regardless?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
So what if he doesn't take them there? Well, I think the entity was no, the entity was not going to launch. We got to this by the end of the movie. It was not going to launch
until he got. Well, so
because they wanted to
again-
make sure it was safe, as if it was like a living being or something.
So, but what if he just didn't do it?
Then I guess it doesn't launch. So I guess we don't have a movie.
Are we missing
guess
something?
so.
It's kind of hard to talk about a movie that just came out
Yeah.
because you're in
like
the theater.
you only
so
get to watch it
can't-
once,
You can
so
only do
you
it
might
once.
miss something.
You can't like rewind.
But
and
no,
make sure
I think you
did
got a
miss
point.
it?
If he
Yeah.
doesn't go through any of this, the entity doesn't launch the nukes.
Because he won't do it because it wants to save itself.
Yeah.
So what if he just doesn't do it? I'm pretty sure they covered it and I
They
missed it.
probably
they
did. We
probably
probably
did.
missed something.
Yeah, they probably did.
Yeah.
Like,
I
what if
think-
Ethan Hunt jumped off a bridge, right? And then there's no Ethan Hunt. So what does the entity
Because they're saying
do
like you
then?
need to save
Right.
humanity. Oh, because he threatened Grace or something. But that's one person for many.
Yeah, well, Ethan does that. They
I mean, he
said that
does it
in
all
Yeah,
this
they
the
said that in the
time.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah, he always bets like everybody's lives to save one person.
Yeah, maybe
Mhm.
that's what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be.
Yeah.
That's what Mr. Phelps was mad about.
Yeah.
So
Whatever. When it comes on streaming, I'll watch it again and we can correct ourselves.
Okay.
yeah, we'll do an update or an amended version of this podcast.
But meanwhile, also while they were doing that, the Gabriel, the person that used to work for the entity,
Mm-hmm.
he kills what's
Luther?
his face? Luther.
Mm.
I gotta say that wasn't as impactful as it could have been or should have been.
It wasn't. I mean, I think by the end of it, they made it a bit more impactful, especially with Luther leaving him the message. But at the time, in the beginning of the movie, like
Yeah.
it was so
kinda
much
knew.
going on. Yeah.
Yeah,
I knew it
because
was gonna happen.
I had went back to when we did the Dead Reckoning. Is that what the name of it was? Whatever.
No, it's Red Deckening.
The Red Reckoning, not what the name of the movie was.
Red.
I
Dead
was gonna say
Reckoning.
that anyways, but yeah, it's because we pretty much said that either Luther or Benji was going to die, and we were right. My problem is that for some reason Luther was dying anyways.
Yeah. Did we get to know what was he sick of?
Yeah, what was that?
I always assume cancer.
Probably sick of you.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, I'm sick of you and all this.
But it's like he was dying anyways. He was like
Yeah.
living in a cage for some reason.
Yeah,
So-
that wasn't explained really.
So it sort of took the sting of Luther dying because it was just like, well, if he's
Yeah,
dying
like, I'm gonna die anyway, so
anyways.
like, yeah, let me do this.
Yeah.
Unless we're missing something, I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but like this movie did reference past Mission Impossible movies, and I have to say I don't remember what happened. And I probably should have watched Dead Reckoning,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't. And I was like, man, I
Definitely.
remember there's an AI and there's Haley Atwell, but like, besides that, I don't remember
It's
what
hard to
happened.
remember all those movies. Like when it was flashing back, I'm like, oh, okay, I remember that part and this part. But
And I'm pretty sure the one that was most important, which was Mission Impossible 3, I think you said, was the one where his wife was captured
Mm-hmm.
and he had the rabbit's foot.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the rabbit's foot was the AI. I'm like, woo, you guys made a big stretch on that one.
Huge.
Because y'all had a biohazard thing on there.
right, like, huh?
But
Yeah.
they made a
Was that,
big
like,
stretch.
Falsely labeled or something like
Yeah,
what did that?
just like, and I guess it's because, and I don't remember because I haven't seen Mission Impossible 3 for quite a while.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't watch it. I didn't know any of that had happened.
I remember Mission Impossible pretty well.
Is that they never really tell you what's in the vial.
Mhm.
So people, always speculate, like, what was it really? For you, 20, 25 years later or whatever, to come back around and be like, that was the AI, just no.
Especially since it was 25 years ago. This
No.
AI is extremely advanced.
Yeah, just absolutely. One, it's not a connection we needed. And I know it was basically to say, this was all your fault to begin with because
Yeah.
you stole it to save that one person.
Yeah.
Now, Benji said it was supposed to be the anti-god or something like that when he
Yeah.
explained
Yeah.
like what the rabbit's foot is, like his
Yeah.
theory on what it was. But they never actually said what the rabbit's foot was in the movie.
No.
Yeah.
He was just like, all right, well, we gotta protect it or just not hand it over to the bad guys, obviously.
Yeah.
But they never actually said what it was. But it's still kind of a stretch for them to say, yeah, that was the AI.
Yeah, it's a
like-
huge
Yeah.
stretch. For like,
I
this
mean,
really-
seriously, this super. Have you guys seen what AI could do 2 years ago? It's horrible. I mean, like it's not great today, but like it's leaps and bounds compared to what it was 2 years ago.
yeah, so
So you're talking about 25 years ago?
20. I just looked it up. It came out in 06.
06. So about 20 years, 19 years
So a
ago.
couple decades.
Yeah, nah, no way. No way you had this AI.
Nah. I mean, dude, come on. Like, we were in the beginning stages of smartphones.
Yeah.
Right.
And this thing.
Camera megapixels were still pretty low at that time.
And this thing can take over the entire planet.
Absolutely not. It's a connection we didn't need. Like, the Mission Impossible movies were fine being standalone missions.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't need these connections.
Yeah, I think AI can be just a new thing. Like, it doesn't have to be something that was in all the
Yeah.
movies. Like, this could just be something recent.
I think they really wanted to make everything come full circle, and that was their choice.
I don't
Didn't-
think that was necessary though for everything to come full circle.
No,
Like,
it
you could have
wasn't.
had other little details. It's like it's just the fact that Ethan's always doing stuff
Yeah,
out of like against orders and stuff. So it's like you could have just used that as your connection.
Exactly. Ethan is the connection point. We don't need
Yeah.
everything else connecting. He's a spy who went on 8 separate missions.
yeah.
We didn't need the universal connection.
Right. Like all these things you did triggered certain things that brought us to this point.
Yeah.
Like all your like
Yeah.
collateral
Your
damage, basically.
actions
Yeah.
have caused this, which can still happen
Yeah, like when
without it
Superman
being
punches a
exactly
villain
that.
through a building and everybody in the building dies.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you got the villain, but everybody in the building dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but we don't need a movie about the dead people in the building.
yeah, we don't need to worry about
We
that.
don't need it.
It's a pretty
Sure.
quick movie.
You sure we don't need that?
I'm
quick
sure
movie.
we don't need it.
Okay, fair enough.
Mm.
Yeah. So basically, that's the plan. So Ethan has to go get the original source code from the submarine,
Mhm.
and his team has to find out where the submarine is.
Mhm.
So they split up at that point.
Mhm.
And they have to pretty much figure that out on their own. Right? He basically just told them like the Vegas of information, and they had to figure out what to do from there.
Well, they knew to go to the little shack in the Arctic or whatever.
Yeah.
And then from there, they could find the code, and then they would use Morse code to upload it. And then he jumped into the water to get to a sub that would pick him up, that can then use their periscope to listen to the Morse code
Mhm.
Whenever it's
And then he can
broadcasted.
leave the sub to dive down.
to dive down
another
to the,
sub.
to the sunken sub.
And
to-
that sub in turn will keep falling deeper into the ocean, where he jumps on another sub.
All right, so let's talk about this dive sequence. First of all, he
Oh,
jumps
yeah,
into
Bledsoe.
the-
I like Bledsoe.
Bledsoe. Yeah.
Agreed.
Captain Bledsoe.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Yeah,
Oh,
I like
yeah,
Captain
I did
Bledsoe.
I like him a
Bledsoe.
lot.
It's like if
yes.
you're trying to poke the bear, then you
Oh,
came to
we
the
didn't
right
mention
guy.
Angela Bassett
Like
as
my
the
guy.
president of the United
Angela
States.
Bassett, what is she not great?
I mean, I was
Yeah,
like,
true. She's
I was like,
gorgeous.
Angela Bassett, the president, appropriate as the queen.
Yes.
She was the queen of Wakanda, and she's the president of the United States.
Yes, let's go, Angela
I
Bassett.
like it.
Yes,
I love it. I
Perfect.
love it.
Yeah.
I love
perfect. All right, so yeah. First of all, you jump into the Arctic Ocean. I'm like, I
Yeah, I'm
don't-
like, when he jumped, I'm like, this is a bad idea.
Such a bad idea.
But he jumped out. Well, okay, so they were international waters, but the Russians were basically buzzing them like
Yeah.
back off.
Mm-hmm.
So it was spooking the what Navy?
Especially that dude. I'm like, oh, they're showing missiles. We gotta get out of here. Oh, missiles. We gotta go. I'm like, are you?
I
This is
mean,
your first day out.
I get them.
Everyone
Any
was pretty
confrontation
jumpy.
between U.S. and Russia is just bad for
Or the
everybody.
U.S. and anybody. You got to remember, everyone was already on edge because of the AI taking over thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like we know what we're getting into.
yeah. They kept saying this is going to lead to World War III. I'm like, bro, he's about to nuke the entire planet.
We're already
We're not
there.
worried about World War III. It's not even going to start. Don't worry.
Right.
But anyway, he jumps into the Arctic and he gets picked up by the sub. So he has to leave from that sub once they find it.
Mhm.
Which is their tie into Mission Impossible 1?
Yeah, because his crew was in the little shack in the. I don't know. Where were they?
Was it Matthews Island? It's an
Something
island
like that, yeah.
between Alaska and Russia,
Yeah. So.
owned by the United States, and it's got the sonar.
Yeah,
on it.
so basically it's saying that like this ship exploding would have been made a loud enough noise in the water, I guess, to have been picked up by the sonar things.
Yep. Side note: this is true because one of these things picked up an iceberg falling into the water, which on the thing sounded like, you just dropping something in like to your sink of water, like a little plop.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, what is that? And it turned out it was like an iceberg breaking apart and falling into the water.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that was certainly viable to me.
Yeah.
So basically there's this like, hey, like it would have heard it, so we need to find out which one of these sonar thingies picked up the sound and where was it.
Yeah.
And the guy from the very first movie, who when Tom Cruise did the hangy thingy with the laser beams and
At
stuff,
the CIA Black Vault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that guy apparently lost his job because the vault got penetrated on his watch.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he has been staying in this shack for the last 30 years.
30.
Yeah, 30 years. He got sent to basically Alaska.
Yeah.
Also, remember that part in the video game?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Like, the cable may break if I drop too fast. The cable broke off. Like, are you telling me to not drop
It
so
was
fast?
difficult, man.
It was difficult.
That game was great.
But that game was fun.
Yeah, it
That game
was
mad
super fun.
I gotta find that game again.
Yeah.
They should make another one.
They should. It's probably so
Mission
much
Impossible
better.
game?
Yeah, it would be so much better.
Yeah.
They made
Oh
new
man, a
game.
modern
That
day
would be
Mission Impossible
dope.
game?
Yeah,
That'd be so dope, man.
Bruh.
Just putting that out there. The Arrival said it first. Make another Mission
Let's
Impossible
give
game.
it to Insomniac. See what they do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with it. Don't give it to Rockstar Games.
No Rockstars.
No. Please don't.
No. You don't want a GTA style Mission
No,
Impossible?
I do not.
Okay.
Come on.
All right. So then we get this whole dive sequence,
Mm-hmm.
which, like I mentioned before, I think it was intense. He first of all he's got this super pressurized suit. He's got to go 500 feet
Oh, wait.
down.
What's
up?
We're going to talk about the guy that tried to kill him while he was on the treadmill.
Oh,
they-
I mean, I was skipping
Oh.
over it, but yeah.
I kind of did like how they did that scene and how his team was in. They had their little issue and they kind of kept going back and forth.
Yeah,
I kind of
that
like how that was
good.
shot.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
kinda
like
how
because
that was shot.
between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like his team was in, we didn't talk about how his team was in Alaska or not Alaska, whatever. And the Russians were also there because it's like, hey, this guy knows where the coordinates are.
Yeah.
So they were fighting the Russians while he was also fighting the traitor on the ship, I guess.
Yeah, well, there were people around the world that agreed with the entity, basically, and they
Mhm.
wanted to bring the end of
Idiots.
humanity.
Yeah.
So obviously, this guy was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're right. That was pretty cool. So cutting back and forth between the fight, it turns out the guy on the island had remembered the coordinates that day. I guess it made sense to him because he said, people came a month later,
That makes sense,
basically
yeah.
tearing up the place.
Yeah. So a loud enough noise where, like you said, we're like, hey, what is that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then if the CIA or whoever start showing up, you're like, okay, clearly this was something.
Yeah.
Something significant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember that.
Honestly, yeah, you guys are right. Those are some pretty good scenes.
Mhm.
I mean, that goes to my point of saying, like, some of the cinematography in this was pretty good.
Mhm.
Like,
Agreed.
good editing, good shooting.
Mhm.
I think with this. All right, the dive. You mentioned him coming out of there and then immediately getting hit by the other sub.
Sub that was right
I'm
behind
like,
him.
bruh, I don't. And then you got to dive 500 feet. So
Mhm.
you avoid getting chopped up by the propeller on the sub and then
Mhm.
dive 500 feet down to the sunken sub.
And submarines are massive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like they're not just a little boat.
Also, the
It's
one that was
massive.
following them was much bigger than
it was
they were.
big.
So
That thing
big
was
that it had
huge.
launched another sub, by the way.
I'm like this has got to be intimidating for you to hop out. You're in the middle of this ocean, this deep.
I mean, the ocean wants to kill you
Huge.
anyway. So
Yeah, everything in the ocean wants to kill you. It's got to be dark down there. Then you got these huge subs that you're outside of. It's not as
Mhm.
intimidating when you're inside the sub,
Yeah.
but when you're outside of it, it's intimidating. Like a cruise ship. When you're on the ship, it's not intimidating.
Yeah.
But if you're in the water and you're looking in this huge ship's neck, it's
I
intimidating.
feel like I'd be claustrophobic inside a sub, but also if we were under the water, I would want to be in the sub.
Yes, yes, that's the best way for you to be.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Definitely. Yeah. So he gets on the sunken sub, which because he like is opening things and the water is pouring in, it starts like causing the sub to kind of roll over. Because
Mhm.
now you're shifting the weight that's in the sub. Problematic.
Very.
I mean, like you got nuclear missiles falling all around him. I'm like, bruh.
I'm like, this is not okay.
Yeah, he gets hit by one.
Yeah.
Yeah, one fell on top of him.
Yeah.
They saw the dead crew members in there.
Yeah.
So
Their final facial expressions.
Yeah, so I mean, he gets the original source code and he has to escape. Of course, a missile blocks his route out, so he has to go through
Torpedo.
a torpedo.
A tortilla.
A tortilla.
A
He has to go through a tortilla tube.
Have you ever
What
seen
is
one of those?
that? I have not. I can honestly say.
A torpedo tube. Which, yeah, talk about claustrophobic. I don't know,
Dude,
bruh.
I got
I don't-
anxious just looking at that thing.
I was
I'm
like,
just
nah, this
Especially
no,
when the
thank
water
you.
poured in behind. I'm like,
I cannot
oh,
imagine
no.
being in a space that is just like, and I'm not like super like, people have like panic attacks with claustrophobia, right?
Mhm.
I don't really have that, but dude, being in a space where it's just like no room, like I can't even move my arms, bruh.
Right.
That's a
Yeah,
no for
no,
me.
I'm not, I'm
No.
not doing like literally looking at that. I'm like, nah,
Mm-mm.
nah, this ain't it. Like,
He had to take the suit off of there just for him to be able to fit
yeah,
in.
just
All
so,
right.
like, I'm not doing it. Like,
So
I
this-
do not like enclosed spaces like that. Not
Mm-mm.
doing it.
So this should be a nitpicks, but I'm gonna mention it here. Okay, he's dead.
Yes.
Oh, he definitely did.
Oh, for
So
sure.
like, okay, so one, he had to take his pressure suit off.
Yes.
Mhm.
500 feet. 500 feet. What's the furthest dive? Pretty sure it's not
I don't
500.
think it's 500 feet.
I'm gonna Google. Continue.
Let's find these facts.
500 feet below the water, and he has to take his pressure suit off because he's got to go through a torpedo tube.
So when you
I can't say torpedo. It's not
you
working.
can say tortilla.
Hey, look, I've been dieting.
You're craving tortillas. right
Tortillas
now?
are great, okay, and I haven't had a burrito in a while. So,
So this is his cry
hey,
for
my
help.
burritos my go-to food, man.
Is it
I love
really?
Yeah, burrito. I love burritos.
So if you love 3D Rivals, send burritos to
Actually,
or
What?
coupons.
What's the
it is fairly deep.
for a dive?
Well, hold on. That was the AI answer. Let me get back to me when I
Oh,
find
yeah,
it.
Oh,
because
okay.
yeah,
AI
You know they
wrong.
make up stuff.
Yeah.
That's the
They
entity
wrong.
we're talking about here.
Yeah.
They're like the furthest.
Like, yeah, you can go ahead and dive
has been
2,000 feet.
1,000 feet.
I'm like, what?
Like what? Into space. Like I think
No,
that's
bro.
that's the other direction. I don't think you're right.
It's like, trust me, I'm the entity.
Yeah, so okay. So he's 500 feet under the water. Now you don't have a pressure suit, which
Mhm.
like had only been tested to 300 feet.
Right.
And you're 200 feet below that. So
Without it.
it was dangerous enough with it at that level, and now you don't have it. And then
And
he
then he took
loses
his
his mask.
mask. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're dead.
Which I
There's-
mean, he had to lose his mask. I get it because it got caught on the sub, and I'm not about to fight a submarine.
Yeah,
Sinking,
no,
you
me
know.
neither. You're just gonna die deeper.
Yeah,
So,
so you know,
I guess I might as well try this.
I'm like, how am I supposed to swim 500 feet up?
There's no way he makes it. I was thinking the time. I'm like,
No.
he's not making that swim back
No,
up.
yeah, I'm like, you're not swimming like that. And plus,
absolutely
you're
not.
below the ice cap.
Yeah,
So-
you're in the Arctic too. Not, I mean, the ocean's cold at that depth, no matter where you
Yeah, because
are.
ain't no sunlight or no heat getting down there.
But still, you're in the Arctic. I'm pretty sure it's colder.
Yeah, you're in your underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah, in your underwear, no air now. At least you had air without the suit before. Now you don't even have air.
hmm
Not to mention the bends. Like,
He's dead. He's
yeah.
absolutely dead.
Oh, the way they depict it, because he mentioned how like the nitrogen builds up in your muscles
Mhm.
and stuff, and it'll be
Mhm.
painful. The way they depicted that when it happened, I was like, oh
Yeah, I'm like,
It's
God, because he's
painful.
like he's trying to swim up, but then like his
his
muscles,
muscles
is,
are like he's losing control.
you
I'm
know, and
like,
he's just like I can't. And I'm like, oh my God! And that shot, that shot was awesome. Because
Mhm.
like they
But when
flipped the screen, so instead of him floating up, it was like
Like
him
he's falling
falling down.
Mhm.
And that was an awesome shot.
It was.
You know,
I
chef's
agree.
kiss. You know,
Mwah.
hats off to the editor on that or whoever decided to do that. That was
Mhm.
awesome.
Okay.
Definitely was.
So the deepest someone has
Divin?
dove.
Uh-huh.
Divin.
That's not
That
a
should
word.
be a word. The deepest they have divin.
was actually 800 feet.
Mm.
He did suffer brain damage, so
Yeah, well, I bet
Okay.
not recommended.
there's no oxygen
I think
down
he
there.
had brain damage
Yeah.
before for deciding to die.
Well, okay, there's oxygen down there, but it's all attached to hydrogen. So, no.
Yeah. So the other thing they said the deepest free dive was 689.
For a free, so no suit or anything.
Yeah, I only looked up no suit because he.
All
had
right,
to
so
do it
this was
without.
possible.
It's possible, yes. Yeah, he spent this guy who did it, Herbert Nitsch, I guess,
Mhm.
spent 7 days in a coma.
7 days. Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah, like it
That makes
wouldn't
sense.
recommend it. No,
Did he descend slowly to try to avoid the bends?
I don't know.
Because
who
you got
that
to
was.
remember, like Tom Cruise didn't have any air, so he had to go up like in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So he had to go fast.
Yeah.
Like Navy SEALs ain't doing that.
Yeah, so this guy, this Herbert guy, actually has 7 of the 8 or the 6 of the 8 deepest dives on record.
What's
Crazy.
wrong with him?
I'm guessing to prove he could do it.
Hey,
To who?
I don't know.
Look, we're
I'm
still
not
talking
doing
about
it.
him, right?
I guess so.
Possible, but not. I still don't think Tom Cruise make it for right. One, the water temperature is super cold. It's just I feel
He's
like
He didn't have
Nude.
any air.
yeah,
for,
he
for
didn't have any
So,
air.
like, did they pick him up as soon as he hit the top of the ice?
I don't think he makes it. To be honest,
Yeah, I don't think so.
You got him in that decompression thing. Why was she in the decompression tube?
you know, Mission Impossible is always weird. Maybe it's not. I think it's a Tom Cruise thing. Like they always have like his lady friend without ever really being romantic.
Yeah.
It's always hinted that like, oh, I really love you, really care for you. But I'm like, do you know? Because I've never really seen y'all interact.
I think they actually kissed in. Oh, wait, no, she was doing CPR. I was like, he actually kissed somebody in this movie.
Yeah, it's like his relationships are always so weird. You know, it's
Well, you're a
implied
spy.
that they're really close to each other, but we didn't really see it.
You're a spy. You can't get close to nobody. You're a spy.
James Bond managed to fall in love with all his
I
lady
mean,
friends
James- yeah,
before
well,
he gets them killed.
James
Well,
Bond
see, there you
will
go.
have sex with an iceberg if he could.
As long as there was some place to put it
Yeah,
in.
he's like, that's a curvy looking iceberg. Like, I mean, come on.
I believe he would.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but honestly, she wasn't under compression, so I don't think she should be in the decompression chamber.
Yeah.
Because Tom Cruise has to stay in there. Also, he should have been there for a very long time.
Well, we don't know how. Oh, yeah, we do because he only had 4 days.
So yeah, he only had 3 days. So like,
Yeah, so I guess he was only in there for like a day or so.
yeah, which was not enough time because he came up without the pressure suit.
Yeah, and especially when the guy on record spent 7 days in a coma, and on average, free divers only do like 130 feet. That's like the
Mhm.
most for a free diver.
Now,
Somehow I don't
also,
think he's a
there's
professional
precedent.
diver.
He's not.
There's
He can't be.
precedent for this. There are actual people who work on the ocean, like on our internet lines and stuff,
Mhm.
and they have to stay down there for several days. And when they come up, they have to. Well, I think it decompresses them before they come up. So, so they go down. It starts to pressurize.
Mhm.
So they get used to the pressure, then they can go out and do their work, and then it decompresses them over several days so they can come back up to the surface.
Mhm.
You can't just be like, yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
And these are people that
Well.
are in suits.
Well, Tom Cruise can do it.
Yeah, I guess so.
He does his own stunts. So
Yeah.
there you go.
All right, but we're past the submarine thing. He's got the source code. They never explain why the source code helps them get rid of the entity, but all right, fine.
Only if they use the poison pill that Luther came up with.
But we don't get the connection. Like, I don't. So we get the source code and that does something? It lets us get to the new code?
I don't look. You guys are talking about a movie with like a sketchy plot to begin with,
I mean, yeah.
and you know this, and you know I didn't see it on the best of days.
Well, it was Thursday.
I saw it on Thursday.
Yeah.
The day I was outside in the rain all day.
Oh yeah.
Then also the day I had the world's biggest whiskey sour for some reason.
Oh,
Then I
wow.
went to the
Oh, she
movies.
watched
She was
the
not in the
movie
right
drunk.
mind.
She doesn't even know what happened in the movie. She's surprised by everything we say.
What it is saying is that my focus may not have been 100%.
Okay.
Surprised by everything we say.
'Cause usually I'm keeping you guys in line.
Fair enough.
Oh, okay.
What?
Thought she had like notes on the movie on there, like
Well, she usually has her notes
some
up.
cliff
I
notes.
have notes.
No, you got cliff notes on the movie.
Oh.
Ask Jeeves or something.
Oh, Spark notes.
Like, okay, so what happened? Oh, okay, yeah, that's in the notes.
She got the Wikipedia article for the movie. Yeah. All right, but this moves us into the last part of the movie, which is going to the server. And here we got to upload the poison virus, whatever.
Tom Cruise has the virus thing.
Yeah.
When they're in the server with Haley Atwell and the crew, basically is Benji or someone built a little glowy USB stick.
Yeah, a
RGB?
5D
Something
or another that doesn't exist
Yeah.
in real life.
So basically is when the entity is going to upload himself to the computer, it'll be plugged in and they'll snatch it out right before he can do something else.
In the blink of an eye.
In the blink of an eye. They said that a lot. So
Yeah.
then that way he'll be stuck on a USB drive instead of preserving
USB,
himself.
I think, is like is a really funny explanation of this.
But is that not it?
I mean, I guess so. It's a fancy USB drive. So yeah. So they have it plugged into the servers, and they've got to. She's got to take it out at the right time, as soon as it uploads itself, but before it launches the nukes.
Yes.
And since it's a computer, it's probably as soon as it uploads itself,
Uploads.
it's going to launch the nukes, which is why they say blink of an eye. You got to
Yeah.
do it super quick.
So Benji had made the little lighty up thing. So as soon as it turns green, she has to snatch it out.
Yeah.
But she has to cut the wire and snatch the thing.
Yeah, well, you got to cut the wire to because you can't just enter this server. Obviously, a secure server.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why the rest of the world's nuclear arsenal isn't
Isn't
as
secure.
a secure server, but whatever. Okay. So she cuts the wire. That takes down some of the security for it to get in. And then as soon as it's in, you've got to take the USB stick so it's trapped on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this works really the way computers work.
Pretty sure it
I'm pretty sure this doesn't work.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't.
But whatever.
It's in the blink of an eye. So yes, that is how it works.
If I have a USB stick in my computer, like when I put a program on, it doesn't automatically go to the USB.
No, upload speeds are incredibly slow.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, that's true. I don't know.
Depends.
I mean, but
On
this
your
is how the
Wi-Fi
movie
network.
works, okay? So, yeah. So she's got to snatch it out so it can't launch the nuclear codes, and now it's trapped forever on a USB thing. Why are we
Mhm.
keeping it? Burning in fire.
Yo, that is like my
So
nitpick.
that
like,
way somebody else can get it and we can have another movie.
it that's the only reason that like why are we keeping this thing?
Like
I
if
was
we
just like,
if we
burn it.
destroy this USB now, then there is no more AI. Like it can't come back
Yeah.
from that.
Yeah, it's gone. Like why are we not like immediately I would have put it in a fire.
Because of Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning 2.
Nope. There's none of that.
There's gonna be.
All right, but that's the plan. So we've got Gabriel here. Now he's got what does Gabriel have? Oh, he's got the poison pill because he killed Luther.
And took it.
So they need that from him, right? So the plan is to give him the original source code because he needs to go outside in order to put the poison pill because Gabriel wants to try and control the AI.
Which is just
course.
dumb.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah, Gabriel was kind of weak sauce in this movie.
Yeah. So his plan is to control it
His
so
name is
they
Gabriel.
know he's going to try to
Mhm.
upload the poison pill. So the plan is to let him have it so he uploads it. They're just going to be in the vault doing their thing, putting the USB on and snatching it out in the blink of an eye so the world doesn't go to a nuclear holocaust.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Of course, it is interrupted by IMF.
No, it was the IMF. The
I don't think
weird
so.
government guy who kept showing up at the wrong time.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, or the
Well,
CIA.
he turned out to be
or
the son of the original leader of the
another
IM.
connection we didn't
I was
need.
like, okay, that
Oh,
was.
yeah.
I did think that. I was like, that's not a connection we needed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at that point they were just trying.
Honestly,
too
we
hard to-
didn't need the government guy at all.
No. Well, because honestly, he messed up that whole operation.
Yeah, but
And
my
then
thing
and
is,
then you came in and he's asking Ethan Hunt, so what was the plan? And Ethan's like, the plan was to let him have this source code.
well, that was the thing.
And it's like,
He interrupted, like, what was the plan? And then, like, what does this thing really do? I'm like, so you came all the way to South Africa from DC without even knowing what the
You
thing
know
really
nothing.
did? You know
Yeah.
nothing?
no,
I'm
nothing.
like, that's just dumb.
Oh yeah. Meanwhile, our president is deciding whether or not she should kill billions of people
Yeah.
with like by launching a preemptive strike.
Yeah.
So preemptive strike on the rest of the world's nuclear arsenal, which will kill a lot of people. Also, to a show of good faith, she kills some United States citizens.
Absolutely not.
I was like, no. And then, like, at the last minute, she decides, no, we're going to take our nukes offline. And it's like, what? You could have done this long ago.
She had to have the battle within
period.
herself.
Especially, okay, if you were afraid of the rest of the world reacting, oh, their nukes are offline. Now we get to attack the U.S. When you were the last country that hadn't been taken control of by the entity, I think at that point you take your nukes offline, right? Because now you don't have the threat of Russia
Yeah.
doing the nuclear striking now.
Right? They can't.
Yeah. The only threat you have is the AI, and he's going to strike regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, just dumb. And then also blow ourselves up to show good feel. Like, for what? I'm not doing that.
That's the dumbest thing.
That's the dumbest.
Well, because
The
you're
show
like,
good
oh, it's
faith.
start World War III, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think people would be mad about you nuking all of their citizens,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah,
But,
but I'm not gonna say, oh, but look, we killed some of ours too. What is it? No, no. The plan is like, look, if we're gonna kill you before you kill us, I'm not gonna kill part of me. I'm just gonna
Right.
kill you.
Hey, look, go kill our own too. Pow. See?
It would,
We're on
and the
your
question
side.
is, would that actually prevent World War III? I don't
No.
think it would.
No.
I think China would be pretty mad about you bombing them.
It's like
Look.
we don't care about them. You bombed us. We don't care if you killed some of your own. You bombed us.
And I mean, like, look, you could explain the explanation actually makes sense considering that their nukes have been taken
Right, I
control
get it.
of.
It's like we
but
didn't
it's
really have a
like,
choice. We gotta protect ourselves. That
still,
doesn't change anything.
I mean, every country could have taken their nukes offline before it got to this. What was the first one? Was Israel or something? It's like, oh, they've taken control of Israel. Okay, well, let's everybody take their nukes offline. Then we would have been fine. Like,
Agreed.
We wouldn't have a movie though. We
Goodness.
need stubborn government.
yeah. So, anyways, he's trying to decide that and whatnot. So you had that horror deal doing. What were they all afraid for? They were in their super secret military bunker. I think they would have been fine. Everybody down there would have survived a nuclear attack.
We don't know.
Whatever. You see how deep underground that was? You think the radiation is getting down there?
I'm sure she would have been close to safe.
Yes, you
She
would have
would've
been safe. While everybody else was dying. I mean, I guess if you're
We'd
in,
been fine with it.
where do we need to be? North Dakota?
Yes.
North Dakota.
Let's go
Safe.
for what now?
No.
No, North Dakota's not safe.
North Dakota's not safe. We need to be in West Virginia.
West Virginia. Okay.
Nah, man.
We're not far from West Virginia.
Worse.
No,
Virginia's-
no, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
There's
We
nothing
just drive
from
to West Virginia.
There's nothing to do in West Virginia.
The world's on fire. Who cares?
There's not going to be anything to do anywhere.
Hey, but still.
Bring your PlayStation with you, okay?
Problem solved.
Mm,
I don't know, but if I
plug it
got
up.
5 minutes, I'm not gonna think about the PlayStation.
That's true.
I'm gonna regret it later. Like, man, I should have grabbed that PlayStation.
Put a
Nah,
PlayStation in your go
in
bag.
Your go bag.
Yes, walk around with an 8-pound game.
I have some Nintendo Switches. I can bring those.
Oh, that's smart. That's smart. I don't have any
I don't see why not.
entertainment.
That's on you. Better stuff that Xbox or PlayStation in there somewhere. A
Got all
little
the games
tablet,
there.
something.
I don't know. There'll be
Got a
some
Game Boy?
gaming stores. Just steal it.
I do have my Game Boy still.
Just steal it.
That is true. I could just borrow it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Borrow it. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll
my
bring it
bad.
back.
I'll leave some money on the counter.
Yeah. West Virginia ain't got gaming stores.
You probably don't. It's West Virginia.
It was West Virginia. Wasn't. Never mind.
Fucking lame.
How long before the internet goes down?
I'm gonna say immediately. The internet goes down when it's cloudy
Ah,
immediately.
man, that sucks.
Sure.
Because I was like, we got to start downloading stuff, right?
Oh, for sure.
Like, if it's end of the world, like end of society or whatever, you got to start downloading like how to do stuff. And YouTube University is the best thing in the world. So you start downloading
Like,
YouTube
how
videos.
to do what though?
Well, I
How to
mean,
survive without YouTube.
irrigation, and I mean, you're probably going to want some engineering videos and whatnot, just
Oh, okay.
to help you along, you know?
You know, books exist.
Okay, yeah, there's that too.
You
West Virginia ain't got no books.
know.
Yeah, in the United States, do books exist? I don't know if they do anymore.
Okay.
We're burning our books.
Everything's digital.
All right. But okay. So the government guy messes up their whole plan while they're in South Africa. So now well, Gabriel set up another nuclear bomb. What's with him in these nuclear bombs? I don't know. What's wrong with him? So it's a nuclear bomb that they have to disarm, right? The rest of the team goes into the vault to do the whole blink of an eye switchy thingy with the USB. And Tom Cruise goes after Gabriel because Gabriel is like, I'm gonna be a safe distance away in my plane. Wah! I feel like that's how Gabriel is in this movie. He's like like typical villain, curly mustache type of deal.
Okay.
So that's where we get our plane chase. I'm going to talk about the plane chase before we go to the rest of it. So Tom Cruise like knocked out 2 people in the plane, like climbing on the plane, and has to punch them out of their seat. And then he does a little trick by flipping the plane upside down so they fly out.
I feel so bad for that guy. Like, it's one thing to get knocked out, but like, you got dumped out of a plane.
Also, I'm sorry, all-time best villain deaths in this.
That was funny. I will give you that, because Gabriel was basically like, I have a parachute, and then he runs into the side of the plane.
It was funny because first of all, this movie took itself seriously throughout the entire movie, right? So I did not expect a death like this. He's like, only one of us has a parachute. Good luck. And then he jumps out and then hits the tail of the plane.
That was fun.
I was like, wait, what?
That immediately went bad for you.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, like that was so like cheesy, like it was jarring. I did not expect it, but I'm 100% for it.
Because like you said, the movie is so serious, and you just had that one light moment, which you
Well,
know.
by that time when Tom Cruise was fighting that dude, and they was just looking at Haley Atwell, she was like, "Oh, oof."
Oh yeah, in the very
Oh.
beginning, yeah.
That wasn't serious.
Yeah, but like things like that, just like throwing a. That's what we're trying to talk about those Marvel movies, like some humor. It don't have to be the whole thing.
Not the whole thing.
Yeah.
You got a Kevin Hart the whole movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine that. Kevin
Fair
Hart's gonna be in
enough.
a Marvel movie.
Yeah, the plane scene. We mentioned how the shots were good. It just went. I think it went a bit long.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And yeah, those planes can't take that. I don't know what Gabriel was thinking. I'm like, yeah, of course your engine's stalled. I'm like, you're not in you're not in an F-22. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You gotta try.
Yeah. Hey, sure.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the F-22 engine would have stalled after doing all this crap he was doing in there.
You gotta try, man.
All right. Meanwhile, we've got the rest of the team. Benji has been shot. So, they did the whole cliche my lungs collapsing thing, but they did it in a different way, which I was like, oh, you know what? Fine. I'll accept it.
Different how?
I mean, you still had to, air his lungs out or whatever. But he had to explain everything while it was happening and walk her through the medical parts of it. And it wasn't just the immediate, like, oh man, let me stab him in the heart with a pin and then the air vent, I think it was done better than a lot of other movies.
I feel no way about it.
Yeah.
So, sure.
I guess so.
Don't alarm me too much. Like it's like a top hat.
All right. But anyhow, the plan it works out. Entity eventually uploads because Tom Cruise puts the pill in while he's falling in the air. His parachute burned up. Which I'm like, did we need to do this? No, we did not. But all right, that's fine. Extra suspense. Is he going to do it? We knew he was going to do it.
We knew he was going to do it.
Yeah, come on. He's like struggling to slide it in. I mean, I would be too if I was falling.
Yeah.
I'm
falling to my death. I might struggle a little.
But anyhow, they get it, and Haley Atwell was able to do it in a blink of an eye. So, whatevs.
And the world is saved.
Yeah. World saved. We're all good.
Thank you again, Ethan Hunt.
Yeah. We didn't destroy the entity for some reason. That was dumb.
Yeah.
I hope he did. Like, I don't know.
Like we put it in a fancy box.
I'm putting it in a grill immediately.
Exactly.
And setting it on fire.
Yeah.
Probably should go ahead and destroy it.
Yeah, it's like it's going in the incinerator.
And then shooting it into space.
I was like dropping it in a volcano, but
yeah, we could do that too.
Yeah.
And then also, like, no one make an AI ever again, okay? Can we not? Thank you. This time it's not going to be evil. No.
All right. That's what they say every time.
Yeah.
AI will always be evil.
And that's our movie.
Yeah.
So, any random movie facts?
A couple.
Random movie facts.
Right. Movie facts. Sorry, I was drinking at the time. My bad.
Yeah, I know. I know what it's like.
The date that the president wrote on a note to give to the Captain General, whatever she was,
of the George H.W. Bush.
Yes, to get her to agree
Carrier.
to help Ethan was May 22nd, 1996, which is the day that the first movie released.
Oh, so she saw that note and she was like, "This was Mission Impossible."
The day had different meanings for them, but that was the day the movie released.
Oh, so he lied when he said he didn't know what that date was.
He doesn't know what the day is.
No, he knows.
That's when he propelled into the Black Vault and dropped a knife that he received back in this movie because we needed to tie everything back together.
Okay, so originally, and we did talk about this in our original podcast. If you guys haven't listened to it, maybe you should.
Yep, we did talk about Mission Impossible.
We'll leave a link in the description. I'll do it.
Maybe
we'll tell you to find the video in the description.
Okay.
The movies were originally scheduled to be shot back to back, but Tom Cruise had a scheduling conflict because he was doing a promotion for Top Gun Maverick, so they couldn't shoot it back to back. So therefore, this movie ended up being released like a year after they said it was.
Fair.
So this movie is the longest running movie of the Mission Impossible franchises. It is longer than the Red Deckening. The Dead Deckening.
The Red Deckening, the Dead Deckening, the Wreck Meckening.
It is longer by 6 minutes, and I said it for the first one, and I would say for this one, it does not need to be this long.
It didn't need to be 3 hours, no.
Yeah. So both Tom Cruise and I don't know how to pronounce his first name, S.A. Morales.
Okay.
The guy who plays Gabriel.
Probably shouldn't have tried.
Yeah, it was probably offensive. I'm sorry to all of our Latinx listeners.
Probably. I don't know. It's probably a Psy or something. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Anyways, they did their own stunts on the airplane.
Dope.
Oh, they both did.
Yeah, but there was a pilot wearing a green suit in the plane while they were...
Is that why the front seat of both planes were not in use?
Probably.
I was like, why are we flying from the back seat?
And yeah, that's the last of my movie facts.
All right, nitpicks.
Let's see. Did we talk about one we didn't already cover?
I don't know. My biggest one was him dying trying to ascend from 500.
Right,
feet.
I have that. He doesn't make the ascent.
He definitely does.
I did not like the way we did Luther. Like, I understand killing him, but I thought it should have been done differently.
Yeah, and then they showed us it in a flashback with old dude coming up there and killing a nurse.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah.
That was dirty.
Yeah, you talk about I didn't like the connections to the previous movie, especially not the connection from the goo he stole on the third one was actually AI.
Yeah, it wasn't goo, okay? It was secretly a computer.
Liquid AI.
Nanocomputers.
Just what? Get
it
out
wasn't
here.
liquid. It was a computer.
It was nano.
Disguised to be liquid.
So I guess the only one that that I have that we didn't talk about yet was why didn't he plug in the poison pill while he was still sitting in the plane?
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know
the
why,
plane was crashing.
but he sat there and said, "Wait, let me jump out first, and then try to plug it in while I'm free falling."
Yeah, that's true. It would have been easier to do it. While
Like
you were in the
literally,
plane.
take the 2 seconds to plug it in and then jump out the plane.
Fair. It's fair enough.
So that was my last nitpick.
Okay, cool. Let's give the movie a rating. Now we've got our special rating system with 5 different levels. I was torn on this one, but I'm gonna give it. I will pay for that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a decent movie to watch, but I feel like it's gonna fall by the wayside with all the other Mission Impossible movies for me, where I don't remember what happened in this movie at all.
You think it will?
I don't remember anything in the Dead Reckoning. What are we calling it? Red
Red
Deckoning.
The rare Dickie.
I don't remember what happened in that movie at all, and I think I gave that movie a decent score.
You gave it. I'll pay for that.
Yeah,
Well, how many times did you watch the movie?
once.
Okay, we'll see. There you go.
So
We're older, man. We can't remember everything.
yeah, I'm like, and I feel like this movie's gonna end up the same way. I'm just not gonna remember what happened in this movie.
It might happen. I'll watch it again.
I'm going to give it. Watch while folding clothes. I think.
Oh!
And I'm not going to say it's not like I don't regret seeing it. It's not like, oh, I didn't have a good time.
It's
I
a
feel
decent
like
movie.
it is a decent movie. It was a little too long and it wasn't as entertaining as I would like it to be.
Mhm.
So even like the first one, even with this weird plot where I'm like, I'm not even sure this movie made sense. I felt like it was more entertaining.
Well, see, I couldn't even remember whether or not, because I left the theater and I was like, was this better than the sequel or the prequel? And I was like, I don't know, because I don't remember the prequel.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't remember the movie that came before it. So I couldn't even say to myself whether or not this was better than the Red Deck.
Red
Now,
Deckoning, you're right.
I
Red
actually said that not on purpose this time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This is, I feel like this movie is where I had to like think about like, did I like this movie or not? And like my friend texted me like, hey, did you see it? I really liked it. And I was like, I gotta think about it. I'm not really sure. So because of that, you can get a watch my folding clothes.
All right, fair enough.
I
Dan.
give it an eye pay for that because I'd go see it again. I want to go see it again because I feel like I missed some things in there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I might wait for it to come on streaming. Maybe I'll do like
Oh,
a,
yeah, no,
a
yeah,
Mission
I'll pay for it.
Impossible marathon, skipping 2.
Okay. Well, I think they're all currently on the Hulu.
Yeah, the Hulu.
Yeah. I think all but the last one I think is on Hulu.
Okay, yeah, maybe we do like a little marathon. Oh, that'd be cool. If we were actually streaming, we could do like, oh, it's a Mission Impossible marathon, and we like watch it on stream. We're not streaming though, so sorry guys.
We could. We could.
All right, so I think that's an overall. I pay for that for us.
Mhm.
You know, fine. If you haven't seen this movie, I would say check it out. The Mission Impossible movies overall have been pretty decent. It's not like it's going to be a bad time in the theater.
Mhm.
You should check it out. And you know, good send off for Tom Cruise if he quits doing this.
Which he should.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Go ahead and retire, man.
Mhm.
There's
So-
I mean, you
Now
do a
he's going to
cameo.
do it till he's 90.
Please don't.
How much more can you do?
Well, you got 30 more years until he's 90.
How much more can you do in 30 years?
He's gonna die.
How many
doing one of
things are
these
we gonna
things.
Yeah,
save
one
the
of
world
the
from?
stunts is going to end it.
He's
That
gonna
would be
break something
sad.
and they gonna,
I would hope not. Honestly, if you're going to die, just die like normally. Like, I don't want Tom Cruise to die doing a movie.
I would rather he did, but
Yeah.
like I said, you're older and you can't keep putting your body through this. It's just go ahead and do it.
Oh, okay. That being said, I'm going to go on a side note. The running.
Yo, we
We
didn't
forgot
talk
the
about
nitpick
it.
of him. Okay, so in the beginning of the movie,
He was running some
Luther, yeah, Luther,
Yeah,
he
what
finds
was
out Luther's
that?
going to be killed, and he's like, he's got to save him. He like runs
Then he
across London.
runs. He
And I'm like,
runs.
bro,
Like,
you ain't got a
he's
vehicle?
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't get a taxi, something. A
That's
bike.
why I was like, did the AI take over the taxis?
I
Like,
don't know.
what
What's
was
that? He's
that?
too worried.
He was booking it too. I was tired. I was tired sitting in my theater seat. I'm like, oh my God.
He's always running, man.
Jeez.
At 62, he's still.
I
doing that
mean,
kinda running.
yo, shout out to you. I stopped running a long time ago.
Yeah,
and
yeah, no,
I
I
keep
don't
like
saying,
running.
He was in good shape.
Like, I'm gonna start running again. No, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
nah,
just-
I
man.
don't like
You know
it.
how tiring
I don't
running
like it.
is? Running sucks.
Which is why I want to do it.
Yeah, true. Probably should do more running. I'd
Yeah.
be less fat right now.
I should. I mean, do some jogging, trotting.
Yeah.
Full on sprinting like that.
I mean,
Yeah.
he
That's a
sprinted
full
across
body workout, man.
London.
Yeah, but I agree. I was thinking like, are there no cars no more or something?
Yeah.
Why should there be someone online like, if you was paying attention, then you would
Hey,
know."
listen, I don't want to hear your comments online, honestly. So don't even tell me. But yeah, I just needed to mention that. With that
Mhm.
being said, that was our thoughts on Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
The final ranking.
Yes. And if you want to give us your thoughts, even though I said I didn't want to listen to them, leave them in the comments below. I will read them. I will. I
Didn't
promise.
mean it.
With that being said, thank you so much for watching, guys, and we will catch you in the next movie.